Hey there, this is Matt with State of Flex here with a review for Black Panther, continuing my look back at the works of the MCU on our journey to Doomsday. Black Panther is the one that I usually follow up Captain America Civil War with, even though it wouldn't come out for a couple of years. It takes place the week after, so I usually put it right next to. And I think the flow into this film is quite good because of how interesting and compelling the character of Black Panther is. Coming out of Civil War, you want to know more, and then suddenly to immerse yourself into the world of Wakanda seems like the best choice. Ryan Coogler's hiring on this film is an inspired choice. This man, redefined the Rocky franchise with Creed on a pretty successful level. But he made one of the strongest films of the 2010s with Fruitvale Station. He is one of the best active directors that we have, and currently nominated for a Best Picture and Best Director, the first of his career, though this film would also go on to be nominated for Best Picture. It's not lost on me that Ryan Coogler is a phenomenal force, and the screenplay he brings to this film is far better than the standard fare you get with these comic book movies. Oftentimes they have, they're laced with ideas. This capitalizes on those ideas and builds them and bakes them and weaves them into the tapestry of every part of the movie. And its themes are so incredibly strong. And it's not just singular theme. It has multitudinous ones. And they all act to give you a really, genuinely phenomenal and compelling film. The only negatives this film really has are when it kind of is forced to just be a comic book movie. It does that decently, but everything else is done so well that it's kind of disappointing when it boils down to a fist fight in a, train station, right? And it's not that that is bad, it's just that the ideas presented in this film are so intellectually stimulating, you want to see a conclusion that can match that. Luckily for the film, it has a great final, bit of dialogue between your hero and your villain. It's time to talk about the heroes and villains of this all. Black Panther is one of the most interesting characters in all of the MCU films, because not only does Chadwick Boseman play this character of T'Challa so incredibly well that he feels like a fully real, lived-in character, it's that his character is written differently than all the other superheroes. First of all, it helps that he's not quipping and cracking jokes and stuff like that. He has an air of dignity about him, a really kingly nature, if you will. But what really helps is he listens. Iron Man doesn't really listen. Hell, Captain America doesn't really listen. They have their own moral compass that guides them. And Black Panther does too. However, he listens to the people around him, and they influence, ultimately, his actions in the story. He is a reflection of the people around him, as a king probably should be, right? And that is what we lose when we don't have the character of T'Challa. We'll touch on that in a future film, but I do think the value of his character is incredibly strong because he listens. He listens to all the people around him, be it his pseudo-girlfriend, his sister, or the villain of this piece, played extraordinarily well by Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan comes in and steals the film with his absolute charisma. And you want to see this dude more. It's one of those things where, why'd they have to kill that character off? Because he is just so amazingly compelling. He could have been the Joker for this franchise, right? But maybe too much of a good thing can spoil that, and we love this character so much because he is put to exquisite use within this movie. I've been watching these films with my daughter, and she loved this movie. I was a little concerned she might not, because there's a lot of talking. She was just fully invested from moment one. But the moment that Michael B. Jordan came on screen, she was like, his face is perfect. And I was like, yeah, you think so? And she's like, his face, everything about it is just perfect. And I was like, yeah, she's hidden those teen years. But she's not wrong. It's great. Her other big contributing thing is something that I kind of share as well, which is she loved the character of Ulysses Klaue. Klaue is a great cameo, basically, in Age of Ultron, and he's presented here as one of the main villains. And if you read the comics, he is pretty much like the main villain of Black Panther, or one of. And so we got to the midpoint of the movie, and she had me pause it, and she was like, I think Klaue is the perfect villain. I was like, why do you say that? And she's like, he's funny, he's really, like, interesting to watch, you never know what he's gonna do, and he's, like, actually evil. He kills people, and it makes him scary because you don't know what's gonna happen with him next. And the scene we were on was the scene where he gets killed. And so I was like, oh, interesting. I agree with everything you just said. And then we watch, he dies, and she looks at me and she's like, he's not dead, is he? And I was like, no, he is. And she was like, what? And she was so disappointed. That said, she loved Killmonger, so it didn't bother her that much. She also really loved the character of Shuri. And who doesn't, honestly, especially in this movie. Her introduction, everything about her in this is pretty fantastic. You have the warrior women and all the different tribes that you see represented, M'Baku, all these characters. That was my big complaint coming out of Black Panther when I first saw it, was that I didn't recognize the qualities that Chadwick Boseman was really bringing to the film. The fact that he's sitting there and listening, and it influences all that stuff that I recognize now. I didn't then. All I saw was that he was the least interesting component to a movie and a film with a whole world of richer and more textured characters than he, that I would like to spend way more time with them. And I do maintain that on a surface level, if you're not digging in, Black Panther can seem like the weakest character in his own movie because everybody else is so phenomenal. Part of that is goes to casting, a lot of it goes to writing, but it was something that I criticized then. I think the fact that this franchise had the safety net of such rich characters is how it was able to make a second film, regardless of how you feel about it, or the direction they took this franchise. The fact that it was able to sustain a movie without Chadwick Boseman is impressive nonetheless. We will touch far more on that one because I have some pretty significant thoughts about that, at least now. But this film is great. Its approach to colonialism and cultural appropriation and like just so many different things. It has so many interesting things to say. And everybody gets their say, and that's what's interesting with this, is it lays down multiple different points of view, and you understand them, and it's easy to make people become villains, but it's also easy to recognize how you could get behind anybody for their specific movement, because everybody's a little right and everybody's a little wrong. And it takes Black Panther to listen to all sides and evaluate to become all of it for it to really pan out. I think the narrative start of the film back in Oakland, and well, first all the stuff with the sand and telling the origin of the Black Panther is amazing. What a way to open a film. But then all the stuff with Oakland and having that be the bookend is incredibly strong. And the vision quest that the two Panthers get in this film is really quite lovely, and the juxtaposition of them. Performances across the board are incredible. I love this film. It's one of my favorites of the MCU lot. certainly of the solo films. You'll get my complete ranking when I'm done with the entire Infinity Saga. But what did you think of Black Panther? Let me know in the comment areas down below, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.